Right now, statewide applications to grow hemp skyrocket. It's a growing trend, but will it be a fix for Wisconsin's farm industry?
And an unusual and dangerous find inside a McDonald's Happy Meal in Columbus. We'll hear from the family who found it and a response from the restaurant.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 10.
Well, and thanks for joining us tonight. Today was a record breaker in Madison, the lowest ever recorded temperature on March 4th, breaking a record more than 130 years old.
And tomorrow will be another cold one, prompting an alert day with wind chills staying below zero. Meteorologist Dana Fulton is on the backyard weather patio with your first alert forecast. Dana?
We're expecting temperatures to stay below zero, or our wind chills to stay below zero all day tomorrow. It's not just the morning. We're in for a very, very cold Tuesday. So yes, today we did break the record for March 4th for the daily low temperature. The previous record, -9, is set in 1884. Today we dropped down to 10 below to start off the day. Of course, with our wind chills factored in, it felt much colder than that outside. Right now it is about 4 degrees. We have a breeze coming from the west-southwest at about 9 miles per hour. Our wind chill then at about 10 below zero. Both our temperature and our wind chills just expected to continue to drop for us over the next 12 hours or so as we head into Tuesday morning. Throughout southern Wisconsin, it feels very cold outside right now. 9 below for our wind chill in Janesville, 15 below zero in Platteville. Our Doppler track is nice and quiet. That's the good news for us. There's a slight chance for flurries, but we're not really focusing on any significant snowfall coming through for the next several days. We're just gradually keeping our fingers crossed and watching our temperatures slowly and steadily climb up with our afternoon highs. Heading into tomorrow morning, we'll drop to about -2 to start off the day. Again, those wind chills, though, the main focus for us throughout the day as it's going to feel quite cold outside. As I hinted at, there is a little bit of an improvement by the end of the week. We'll take a closer look at your full 10-day forecast in just a few minutes.
Dana, thank you. On the second year of the hemp pilot program, more than 2,000 people signed up for permits to either grow or process the crop.
Well, that's more than a 500% increase from last year, but could that be a savior for farmers dealing with low prices on their other goods? Amy Reed spoke to farmers. She joins us now with the answer. Amy?
What a jump. And what's interesting is almost 90% of those people applying to grow hemp would be first-time growers. It's exciting a lot of farmers, and I guess soon-to-be farmers, but experts are warning there's a long way to go before that excitement is deserved.
We're in such a learning stage right now. We're certainly learning how to regulate it. Farmers are learning how to grow it.
When it comes to hemp in Wisconsin, there's a lot to learn. But if the registration for the hemp pilot program is any indication, there's a lot of people willing to take it on.
I think they've been waiting for this for a long time.
Donna Gilson works for the Department of Agriculture, Trade, and Consumer Protection, the organization in charge of the hemp pilot program. Today, her agency said nearly 2,100 people applied to grow or process industrial hemp this year, a huge increase from the 347 who did last year. But what that will look like is hard to know.
If I could make that kind of prediction, I'd be making a lot more money than I do.
Even for the people who research agriculture, like Paul Mitchell. He said a lot of this knowledge will have to come from these farmers, like where to buy seeds, how many seeds to plant to get a good yield, and how to take care of the crop to make sure it's still okay to sell. For instance, in order for the hemp to still be legal, the THC level must stay below 0.3%, and some factors in growing will alter that.
Fertilizer is a big one. Too much fertilizer, the crop gets too hot, the THC gets above the required minimum that's needed for to maintain its status as industrial hemp. If you break that limit, you have to do a crop destruct.
He said it's a hard thing for farmers to have to do, and last year in the program, 7% of farmers had to destroy their crop. He also said with such high interest in a new opportunity, farmers need to make sure they don't oversaturate the market with the crop, or else it won't pay off. It's why he said it's a good thing to research, but not necessarily a good thing to bet on.
There's a place for hemp in Wisconsin. I don't know if it's going to save us from, the current low prices on a lot of our commodities.
But even though the list of unknowns grows long, regulators still think it's worth it to try.
I think we need to take it very seriously that there is a high level of interest in this crop, and we need to, do what we can to help these people be successful.
You might be wondering what caused such a large spike in the number of people interested. Well, with the Farm Bill, industrial hemp was removed as a controlled substance. The Department of Agriculture, Trade and Consumer Protection said that brought in a lot of people who previously were scared off.
Amy Reed reporting tonight. Amy, thank you very much. An East Madison water well will be temporarily closed due to ongoing PFAS concerns. Madison Water Utility says it will now wait for additional testing and guidance from the Department of Health Services on what to do next with well 15. According to public health officials, the water in that well still meets DHS standards. It is not considered a potential threat to the public. Madison Water Utility plans to bring it back online sometime this summer. Well number 8 near Old Brick Park will now be made operational as a backup.
A Columbus family is warning parents to be extra careful checking their kids' food after what they found in a McDonald's Happy Meal. Instead of a toy, Scott Diamond says their 4-year-old son found this razor blade in the box with food. Police say they've never received similar reports from the local McDonald's, and investigators believe the store's cleaning tool was accidentally bumped into the meal. Diamond wants the store to make some changes so another family doesn't find something like this with their meals.
I mean, it's very sharp. It's a razor. I couldn't imagine him cutting his arm open or even losing a finger because it's so sharp.
In a statement, the McDonald's owner and operator says, quote, "The safety and security of our customers is a top priority. We are working with local law enforcement to investigate this claim."
National Weather Service says the tornado that ripped through Lee County, Alabama yesterday generated winds of up to 170 miles an hour, an EF4. 23 people died, including at least 3 children, making it the deadliest U.S. tornado in nearly 6 years. Many people are still missing. That tornado, estimated to have been at least a mile wide, and its path some 24 miles long. The destruction extended throughout the south to parts of Georgia, South Carolina, and Florida. Heavy snow is being blamed in large part for the damage on a gymnasium roof at Wapaka High School. Early last week, teachers alerted school administrators of a problem when they noticed the curtains in the gym hanging lower than normal. Engineers were called in to assess the situation and inspect the trusses. School officials decided to close the gym for the safety of students and say they still don't know how long those repairs will take.
Governor Evers continues to tour the state promoting the budget he unveiled last week. He's calling it the People's Budget Tour, and today it stopped in Milwaukee. The governor visited UWM to join a higher education roundtable. In his budget, Evers calls for a spending increase for the UW system and a freeze in tuition for students at those schools. Republicans have criticized many parts of the Evers budget bill, but the governor says he thinks higher education funding has possibilities for a bipartisan agreement. The governor's spending plan is also asking for nearly $79 million to expand a rural broadband grant program. Last year, under former Governor Walker, 2 companies were awarded grants to bring high-speed internet to the town of Dunn in southeastern Dane County. A new transmitter will go up there this spring, which will be a welcome change for Josh Smith from Kopke's greenhouse, who faces many challenges with connectivity.
Our security camera system is currently a hardwired system that is impenetrable, but I can't access it outside of this building if I'm at home and I get an email that something has happened. I can't look and see because the speeds just aren't fast enough to accommodate that.
Evers wants to give nearly $63 million more to the grant program than Governor Scott Walker gave in the last state budget. Evers also has a goal of increasing broadband speeds for homes and businesses by 2025.
Starting this fall, you could see a driverless car shuttling people to the Capitol. UW engineers are testing how the autonomous vehicles would work in the city of Madison. A 15-passenger shuttle, like the one we saw being tested on campus last April, will begin doing a 1-mile route going from the area near Breese Stevens Field to the Capitol Square, most likely via Main Street. The project will last a year or 2 to see how the vehicle handles it. The shuttle will cost about $300,000. American Family Insurance has agreed to pay for that initial purchase. Today is the official grand opening of the new Portillo's restaurant at Easttown Mall, a day many people have been waiting for. The Chicago-based chain is known for its hot dogs, Italian beef sandwiches, hamburgers, salads, and chocolate cake. Portillo's was expecting to serve about 5,000 customers today, including one of its biggest fans, our own meteorologist, Gary Canalti. There he is. He took the day off today for this special occasion. Still ahead tonight, your full forecast, including another alert day tomorrow. Wind chills staying well below 0.
But first, a multi-million-dollar undertaking, expanding access to a West Side youth psychiatric facility. This is News 3 Now. Exclusive is next.
The need for youth mental health resources is growing in our community, especially in marginalized populations like transgender youth, who are 2 or 3 times more likely to commit suicide.
Kaylee Arthur shares how the expansion of a local mental health facility could save more lives.
When you see Andy Janeway, you're looking at someone with a bright outlook on life.
I am elated, looking forward to the future.
And that's because Andy gets to be exactly who Andy wants to be.
I mostly work in activism and theater. Let's just put them all this way. But I work here at the pipe fitter to pay the bills, basically.
But the joy and freedom felt now was almost entirely absent less than 10 years ago.
When I was younger, about 14 or 15, I was very deeply depressed.
Bullied to the point where they considered taking their own life.
I just kind of felt like there was no point in being alive if it was going to be a struggle to get out of bed every day, if I was going to be leaving the house just to have everyone sort of pointing and whispering and saying really mean things to me behind my back.
Growing up non-binary, a term used to describe genders that don't fall into a category of male or female, in small-town Wisconsin, Andy felt no one truly understood what they were going through. But it was through an extremely low point.
I basically went to my mom at the time and was like, I'm feeling really unsafe.
That Andy found hope. After a visit to the emergency room, they ended up at Meritor's Child Adolescent Psychiatry Center, known as CAP. Immediately, Andy says they experienced support they had never felt before.
It was just so refreshing to be able to go somewhere and go, okay, this is a place where I can sort of let my guard down as much as I feel comfortable, and they're going to be there for me and help me through all of this.
Katie Schmidt is the medical director at CAP and says Andy's struggle isn't as rare as you might think.
In my 9 years here, it was pretty uncommon 9 years ago to have a kiddo on the unit who identified as transgender. Now it's not uncommon that several are on the unit at once. And I think it's just that kids are feeling more comfortable talking about who they are.
But some LGBTQ teens aren't finding the support they need. A study recently published by the American Academy of Pediatrics revealed alarming levels of attempted suicide among transgender youth. More than half of transgender male teens who participated in the study reported attempting suicide in their lifetime, while 29.9% of transgender female teens said they attempted suicide. Schmidt says she's seen the statistics play out in real life through her work with transgender youth at CAP.
They're more isolated, and that can lead to, again, not reaching out for help and not getting the help that they need. And God forbid then they end their lives or they do something that's really, self-harmful.
The number of adolescents needing professional mental health help is growing in our community fast.
This hospital opened in 2004. We took care of around 300 patients at that time. We're now taking care of about 830, 850 patients a year.
CAP serves 32 counties in the state. It is just one of 8 private inpatient adolescent mental health facilities in Wisconsin. To keep up with demand, Unity Point Health Meritor announced a $13 million expansion, allowing for 30 patients instead of 20 and incorporating new services like day treatment. While the expansion is geared towards serving all kinds of patients, it will certainly help treat the LGBTQ population Schmidt sees more and more.
I think it's fantastic. When I was staying there was often a wait time, and in a situation like that, you literally cannot afford to be waitlisted.
As an activist, Andy has helped fundraise for the new expansion and says the help they received from CAP saved their life, and they want others to survive.
Don't be afraid to ask for help.
And thrive, just like they did.
There's a future out there, and you have to want that more than anything. And if you want that more than anything, you will get it.
In Madison, Keely Arthur, News 3 Now.
The expansion is anticipated to open in the fall of 2019.
10 additional beds will allow 30 kids to stay at the facility at a time, increasing the number of patients staying there from 804 to 1,473 by the year 2020.
Meteorologist Dana Fulton joins us now with a look at our forecast.
It is a little cold outside right now, and it's going to continue to drop our temperatures and our wind chills heading into tomorrow morning. We're in for a very cold start to your Tuesday. Right now, fairly quiet outside, actually. There's a slight chance for some flurries for us tonight, but not expecting any accumulation. And just a little bit of a chance for us in southern Wisconsin. Throughout the state, though, just a cold and quiet evening heading into Tuesday, staying cold and very quiet. We have a little trough off to the northwest as it drops southeast, That's what might push a slight chance for flurries in our direction. Otherwise, high pressure ridging through the plains is keeping most of us quiet and cold tonight. Throughout the plains in the northern Midwest, temperatures are well below average. It's for much of the country at this point. We were looking at the map earlier. If you were hoping for some warm air, you really just have to go to Miami to find it right now. Overnight, we'll fall to about -2 to start off Tuesday. Looking at a partly sunny sky throughout your Tuesday. High temperatures will be in the teens, so still about 20 degrees below average, but gradually moving in a better direction for us by the weekend. By Wednesday morning, our temperatures will drop to about 0 for us overnight, and then in the afternoon, climbing a little closer to 20 degrees for our afternoon highs. Also looking at a partly sunny sky for us for your Wednesday afternoon. With our wind chills factored in, though, it's going to feel much colder than those actual temperatures. By Tuesday morning, we're expecting anywhere from 10 to 20 degrees below 0 for our wind chills. Throughout the day, our wind chills are going to stay below 0. It'll be very cold outside for us. Wednesday morning, another very chilly start to the day, but by Wednesday afternoon, we are expecting a little bit of that improvement to kick in with our wind chills. They'll start to climb above 0. It'll feel like we're still in the single digits, still cold outside, but thankfully it won't feel like we're below 0. Now, we do still have alert days in the forecast for the rest of the evening and into Tuesday morning. Because of our wind chills early on in the morning, again, 10 to 20 degrees below 0. It's going to feel very cold outside, and our temperatures will drop below 0 again. Not expecting to break any low records for tomorrow. The record low for your Tuesday is 12 degrees below 0. So we're only going to fall to about 2. We'll hold the record that we broke for today and count that for the week. Bitterly cold for us tonight. Those wind chills will be the biggest factor for tomorrow morning. If you do have to head out tomorrow, I certainly would recommend limiting your time outside early in the morning and making sure you're wrapped up as best as possible. Tomorrow afternoon we'll be in the teens for our highs. That breeze coming in at about 8 to 15 miles per hour. So you're certainly going to notice it with our temperatures being that cold outside. Partly sunny sky really expected for the next several days. Only have an alert day in the forecast for Tuesday. And then as we head towards the weekend, we steadily add a few degrees to our afternoon highs every day. We'll be in the teens for Tuesday, close to 20 by Wednesday with a partly sunny sky. Heading into Thursday, climbing into the low 20s with a slight chance for some flurries later on in the afternoon and evening. By Friday, we're in the upper 20s, and then Saturday and Sunday finally closer to average. That is going to bring along our next opportunity, though, for a little precipitation. Some rain likely for us in Saturday afternoon, as temperatures will be above freezing, but overnight we'll drop into the upper 20s, so we do have the threat for a little mixed precipitation. Not ideal, of course, for our Sunday morning, but we're going to get through the cold before we start to iron out the timing with that weekend event.
It would be nice to just graduate to the next level and stay there for a while.
Right. Hold on to it for a little bit. Again, by the end of March, our average temperatures are 50 degrees, so we're hoping that we can actually get there and hold on to it.
Let's excel.
Yes.
Thank you.
Badger men's basketball team hopes its depth can mean big things in the month of March. This story coming up in sports.
Big Ten Commissioner Jim Delaney will step down in June of 2020. Delaney, who's 70 years old, has been Big Ten Commissioner since 1989. He'll retire when his contract runs out. He's made the Big Ten into a financial powerhouse. Last year, the conference distributed a record $51 million to each school through its TV contracts and other revenues. The Badger men's basketball team dropped 2 spots to 21st in the AP men's basketball poll today. Gonzaga remains number 1, followed by Virginia. Marquette down 6 spots to 16th in this week's poll. Wisconsin has only 2 more regular season games left. They'll host Iowa Thursday night on senior night at 6, then play at Ohio State Sunday afternoon. We're seeing contributions from guys like Brevin Pritzel, Kobe King, and Charles Thomas more regularly lately, and that's a really good thing this time of the year.
March this is about depth now. I mean, we want to be able to take it easy on the starters, make sure they don't got to be wearing their bodies down every game. So it's on me, Kobe, Charlie, Aleem, guys off the bench. We got to provide that energy to take a load off of them so that when it comes down to crunch time, they're ready to perform.
NBA, the Bucks are in Phoenix to play the Suns, who many believe are tanking to try to get Zion Williamson with the first pick of the draft. Paul Gasol plays his first game with the Bucks. He's not going to score a ton, but he knows how to play, like hit a wide-open Tony Snell for a three-pointer. It's going down to the wire. The Suns up 4 with 11 seconds left. The state girls basketball tournament is this week at the Resch Center, and we have a bunch of local teams there, no less than 6 of them. If Beaver Dam and Monroe win their semifinal games Friday, they'd play for the Division II championship Saturday. Black Hawk and Fall River face each other right away. That's the Division V state semifinals Friday morning at 9. Tiger Woods was going to play in the Arnold Palmer Invitational this week, but today he withdraws from the tournament because of a neck strain. It's too bad because Tiger's won that tournament 8 times. Woods says the injury doesn't appear to be serious. He hopes to play in the Players' Championship next week. Today's the last day of the NFL Combine. The draft is at the end of April. It'll be back to football then. The OTAs and mini camps coming up. New Packers head coach Matt LaFleur has been pretty visible around the Combine, doing media interviews and getting to know how to be an NFL head coach. He's used to transitioning to new jobs the last few years and seems to be ready to hit the ground running in Green Bay.
One of the beauties of being a new head coach is we are afforded to come in a week early, and we have that extra mini camp. So certainly we've got to maximize our time and make the most of it. This is my 3rd year in a row that I've been in year 1 of an organization, which isn't something I want to brag about, but I feel like I've got a pretty good feel on how we need to attack each and every day.
And NFL Network anchor Rich Eisen did his usual 40-yard dash in his suit at the Combine today. He's raised over $1 million for St. Jude's Children's Hospital in these dashes the last 6 years. His goal is to crack the 6-second mark. This year, 6 seconds flat. And this is kind of cool. They overlaid all 4 of Eisen's 40-yard dashes to compare. His best time was 5.94 seconds in 2014 and 2015. We'll be right back.
And Dana's here with the final check of your forecast.
So we do still have the alert day in the forecast for tonight, and of course all of Tuesday. Temperatures are going to drop below zero for us early on Tuesday morning, and wind chills will stay below zero throughout the day in the teens for tomorrow, so doubling what we were at today for afternoon high. We'll slowly and steadily climb up with our temps heading to the weekend, a little closer to average by Saturday and Sunday.
All right, Dana, thank you very much. Thanks for joining us tonight for News 3 Now at 10.
Do something good, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.